In this video, I will walk you through step-by-step how to build an autonomous AI agent that finds the most relevant customer story or social proof for each of your prospects, intelligently matching them based on relevance. And it drops it into every cold email, LinkedIn message, call script, or personalized landing pages, you name it, so you can prove your value with a reference that truly resonates with that person or company you're reaching out to. This AI agent reads every case study or customer story you already have. It analyzes key details such as industry, location, company size, pain points, and the solution that you delivered, and it picks the customer story that's closest to the person or company you're reaching out to, and it drops a short proof-packed line into your cold email automatically. If you send a lot of cold emails, you'll know that an effective risk minimizer is one that shows a success story to a prospect that matches their current situation. Finding and inserting that perfect case study eats up a lot of time. So this AI agent does the heavy lifting while you sleep, letting you send high volume outreach that stays laser personalized without any trade-offs. Now let's get started. To give you an example, I brought you this email sequence that I'm about to send out to Nick from Loom. And then this is the email structure that I usually like to use. So following a personalized opening line with a personalized poke the bear question and some personalized value propositions that the agent generates. It's also including a relevant social proof. So in this case, it says we're doing this for companies like FF Next, who are moving away from just relying on inbound leads, using AI-driven outbound to create predictable, scalable growth. So this is highly specific and relevant to the talk track that I have here within the email itself. So we're asking if you could generate consistent sales accepted meetings to drive Loom's sales-led growth, would you be interested in a chat? And so this social proof is relevant here because I'm referencing another customer who has moved away from inbound leads and is now using AI-driven automation to generate outbound pipeline into their sales-led motion. In the next email, the agent is calling out that Loom has more than 16 million website visits on a monthly basis, and that we can help them turn 5% more of these inbound leads into qualified opportunities. And so we're referencing similar go-to-market motions that led to improved lead quality and enhanced competitive positioning. In touch 3, the agent is referencing a similar company in a digital document management space who used AI to accelerate sales cycles and improve prospect targeting. And so these are actual case studies that come from my own knowledge base here. So these are a few examples for the companies we work with and the products and the use cases that we've seen. And we pulled this data from our CRM. So besides the basic company attributes, we have information about the use case, the pain points before they worked with us, the business impact after we worked together, and then their tech stack. So anything that could be relevant here. And we've uploaded this knowledge base to Relevance AI. So when our AI agent generates these personalized email sequences, it's going to tap into that knowledge base. Now, if you haven't seen my previous videos, this AIBDR agent is part of a larger multi-agent system. So the AIBDR is the manager agent that delegates to the sales strategist. This sales strategist does an in-depth research on the prospect and the company, visiting a bunch of websites, scraping LinkedIn, sourcing a lot of information that can be found about the prospect on the internet. As part of this research, it's also going to tap into this knowledge base that we uploaded to Relevance AI, and it's going to find the most relevant lookalike company that we can bring to the prospect as an example for how we can deliver value. Now let's zoom into the sales strategist where this is all happening. So I'll open the sales strategist in a new tab, zooming into the actual task that delivered these insights for us. And here at the bottom, you'll notice right away that we have this detailed lookalike company social proof section. So I instructed the agent to source the top 3 most relevant company case studies that are most relevant to the prospect company. It sourced FF Next, Sinovise, and then Motion Score. And then it also provides this overview for each company. Now let's zoom into the specific capability of this agent that generates these lookalike social proof examples. So after we do a bunch of research, and again, refer to my other videos, go watch them. I have detailed explanations for these tools. We have this retrieve relevant social proof tool that provides the AI agent the specific capability to first understand our company, which is AI GTM Lab, and we provide an overview about that. Then second, take the detailed research results from the previous steps that the agent has run and take the company overview about the prospect company. In this case, it's Loom, right? So now it talks about Loom's mission and vision, innovation goals, the business model, notable customers, even though it's unknown in this case, company tech stack, and so on and so forth. Some recent company news. So a bunch of relevant details that this tool is going to need in order to be able to connect the dots between the prospect company and the companies that it can find in my social proof database. I also input my company name and then the prospect company name, so the agent knows who's who. And then it provides its answer in markdown format. So that's why it looks a little bit weird, with a step-by-step reasoning and the selected lookalike companies. So here's the first lookalike company, which is FF Next, the second one, which is SignAwise, and the third one, which is Motion Score. Now let's zoom into this tool and let's understand how you can bring your own knowledge base into Relevance AI and how you can give that knowledge base to the agent. You'll find that the inputs remain the same as what we saw in the agent UI, because I just opened this tool in a new tab using exactly the same inputs. So now I'll run this tool and we'll go through the tool run step by step. So now when the tool run finished, we can see the step-by-step results. In the first step, we're going to retrieve all data that is in the knowledge base. It's going to be identical to this sheet here. And we're using a very basic Python code step. So we say retrieve all, and then we reference the name of the knowledge base. In this case, it's AIGTM Lab case studies. Now let me show you where you can find this. So I'll open Relevance AI in a new tab and we'll click on knowledge and you will find the case studies here. And if I click on this knowledge table, you'll find that it has the exact same columns as the Google Sheet has. So tech stack, pain points, business impact. I could zoom into this and even change some of the text if I don't like something, but I like to add it in Google Sheet and then simply upload that database as a CSV into Relevance AI, give it a name, and then reference that name in this simple code step to return the data that we defined here, which is retrieve all and then the knowledge base. So as a result, it's going to retrieve all the columns and all the rows that are in the knowledge base. It's a relatively small table, so I can easily scroll down to the bottom. And then finally, in a large language model step, we have a chain of thought reasoning that takes this knowledge base into account, takes our company's description into account, as well as the prospect company's details, as we saw from the tool inputs. And that is going to reason step by step for the best lookalike companies that it should select from the knowledge base. So first, as always, we define its role or the task or the objective. It's a highly skilled business analyst specializing in market research and client engagement strategies. And the task is to analyze the provided data table, the companies that we push from the case study retrieval. And we also define who's who here. So we provide enough context to the LLM so it doesn't get confused. These are the current customers of our company, which is AIGTM Lab. And we tell the LLM to focus on the key attributes such as industry, technology stack, geographical location, and then also the specific challenges that they face before partnering with us. And we also tell the LLM that it's going to receive the prospect company details and it's going to match the prospect company details with the best lookalike company details from the social proof knowledge base. And then we define a few guidelines, such as providing a company reference tag. So I really like when the agent references one of my previous customers as a fast-growing tech company in Australia or a mid-size hyperscaler, instead of referencing them by their names, because if you worked with smaller companies, then prospects do care about that they were fast-growing, that they were a tech company, that they were based in Australia, for example. And I give it an example here as well, fast-growing fintech in Australia. Then we provide more context to the LLM, because in the end of the day, we want the LLM to intelligently reason step by step with a logical thought process for which lookalike companies are the most relevant that I should use in my cold email. So I tell the LLM what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to send a cold email to my prospect, and I'm going to tell the prospect company that I work with similar companies. Just for context, we provide an example sentence as well. We work with other companies in similar location that are similar to you in company size, in your specific vertical, to achieve desired outcome. And even the desired outcome should be something that's relevant to the prospect company. And finally, we present the output structure that we want the LLM to output. So the reason why we saw that ugly markdown is because we asked the LLM to provide everything in markdown. Maybe we could tweak this prompt to make it a bit better and ask it to output in plain markdown only, and then change the structure here. And finally, we provide the output structure for the LLM. So it's always going to provide us with a data overview followed by a step-by-step analysis. This is the reasoning of the LLM, and I like to output that because it also forces the LLM to think step by step and draw logical conclusions from subsequent points when it outputs its thinking. It's very similar to the reasoning models. The only difference here is that I'm using Gemini 2.0 because this is a needle in a haystack problem. So we have a long context and we need to find small bits and pieces buried under large context. And finally, it's going to output the selected lookalike companies with the detailed use cases. And for each company, it's going to use this structure. So for company 1, company 2, and then company 3 as well. And finally, we simply provide the necessary inputs for the LLM. So the current customers of AI GTM Lab retrieved from the knowledge base, as we saw in the previous step, the detailed company overview, that is the prospect company overview. This is coming from the tool input from here. So the agent is going to fill this out based on the previous steps that it has taken before running the Retrieve Relevant Social Proof tool. So all this information is coming from the LinkedIn scrapes, the website scrapes, and so on. So going back to our tool, we finish by providing all necessary inputs. And then this is the step-by-step analysis that it outputs. So these are the chain of thought reasoning pieces. And then finally, the selected lookalike companies. And it's using the same structure for lookalike company 1, company 2, and then company 3. And so finally, this tool is going to output this message to the agent. And this is what we saw here. So when we click on the outputs, this is the markdown that we get back from the tool run. And so finally, the agent, when it synthesizes all the information that it gathered from the different tool runs, it's going to include everything into the final in-depth research report. And the detailed lookalike company report goes to the end. I hope this was helpful. Now go watch my other videos and let me know what you're missing. Feel free to reach out via LinkedIn or send me an email. I'm happy to share this template with you and the whole agentic system that I've built here. Have a great day. Ciao.